All right, Mike, it's time to get to work.
Oh, are we rolling? Oh, wait. Look, I was responding to a Magic the Gathering Reddit that I had posted earlier today.
Super important stuff.
Yes, it is very, very important. Yeah. Welcome to another episode of Mike and Dylan Hate Drama.
Mike and Dylan hate drama.
Yeah, Mike was just, I'm so caught off guard. I don't know what to do, brother.
That's right.
God. I'm a Papa Titty. I just stuff.
That's when you get the best out of you, is when you're off guard.
Honestly, we do need OnlyFans now. So, with the update from TikTok, they no longer monetize business pages, which is what LaborLama was, is a business page. We trying to sell shirts and hoodies up in here, and they said, "Hey, we're not paying you for content anymore." All right, so we switched from being a business page to a personal page. But they were like, "Oh, since you're going to do that, and we ain't going to make money from your shop anymore, we're going to tank your views." So we went from getting about 1 to 2 million per video to, what was it, 19,000 to 40,000?
Yeah, solid numbers.
Yeah, so nothing. They don't even pay you like to try again. You just lose money posting videos. So instead, what we did was we were like, okay, well, we'll just do TikTok shop videos from the LaborLama shop on the personal page. So it'll actually get views again because TikTok sucks. And TikTok was like, no, we don't pay sponsored content now. So, yeah, I mean, I guess it is. I got to spread my asshole or something.
Yeah, and I mean, you got a lot of DMs. I know we've talked about it in the past, but you have gotten DMs from the community that would likely be subscribers to your OnlyFans content. So
it's time to start, eating cake with my ass. I mean, so in other news, in other less sad news, we started another podcast called Two Daddies Judging Baddies. All right. It's the more concise version of this. Instead of getting a whole bunch of rambling and then finally we might get to like advice, these are pretty concise. They're formatted a lot better where we're actively on the story. I'm less rambly. And we're covering Am I the Assholes?
You won't get as much Mike lore and Dylan lore. You won't go deep into those stories. If we bring them up, it'll be like, oh yeah, we talked about that on Mike and Dylan Hate Drama, more so than going into a 30-minute tirade of how Mike got an A on a test at one point in his life.
Right, yeah. The one time I got an A. But yeah, that gives it's better than me every episode going, oh, what do you like better? Do you want us to ramble or do you want us to do Am I the Assholes? And everybody's just like, split. So
well, and I think it makes it easier for you guys as listeners. If you're really just here for Am I the Asshole style stories, then that's the place to go, is over there. If you want the more, because we do have people that fight, one way or the other. There's a lot of people that are like, cut to the chase, get to the, the Am I the Asshole story. And then there's a lot of you that are like, I want to listen to you guys sleep for 5 hours.
Right, yeah. But the podcast is Two Daddies Judging Baddies. And it sounded funny when I created it. It also sounds like we're going to get a lot of views from people who are like, judging women. And then they're going to fall in love with my boyish wonder.
See, I think it's more so like when you put daddies and baddies together, I feel like it's more like a S&M type. Is that the right term?
S&M?
Sadism and masochism, like the 50 Shades of Grey.
What is
type
it called?
Stuff.
Oh God, I don't fucking know. That's not my
like the people that
preferred category of adult film.
Like the people that love like
BDSM.
Yeah, that's it.
There we go. God,
I just said S&M, but yeah, BDSM. That's what I'm talking about.
Bro,
I think that's what the category is going to be in.
I used to get that and ASMR confused all the time.
They're the same thing.
And I'd be like, yeah, my kid watches ASMR videos. I'm like, fuck, what?
You let them?
Jesus Christ, that is rough. Today we have how many things of advice?
2 solid ones, and then I threw in all the little ones that we normally don't do, but I think they're great. I think you should start with the last one first. Do that last, just that
the big one?
No, just that last. They were all in order before you.
All right, so which one was the last one before I started messing with
the literal last line on that middle page right there. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Oh man. Yeah, we're gonna start with this one. A riveting piece of content. Title is MYOB.
Mind your own business.
Okay, there we go. I had no clue. What was the one earlier that we had to decipher?
Friends with benefits.
Oh, yeah.
FWB. I've never heard it in
FWB. all the message said is, I'm here for the tomfoolery. And we do
A little bit.
foolery with Tom a lot. Speaking of Tom, the reason that we were like, because I was like half and half on I was starting a new podcast, because, you know, you don't want to like have people, you know, jumping through hoops and shit to get your content. And then Dylan pulled up Tom Segura's shit. How many podcasts did he have?
11.
11. I like to think 10 years from now, I have 14.
I thought you were going to throw us back to like being on MySpace and like Tom's our friend. And so we were going to like start promoting our podcast on MySpace.
I wish Tom was my friend. Come on this podcast, bud. Just any guest.
Were you in the MySpace era or did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, man. I loved MySpace's cutthroat style where you had like top 8 friends and that friend would move down and wouldn't know why.
I had top 3.
God, I wonder if my MySpace is still up. I think my profile picture was me and some like big ass sunglasses with a fitted hat and then an MMA Elite shirt on, a white one.
You were that guy.
I was that guy.
I mean, I think I went in and out of that era as well. So
I was unfortunately that guy. So yeah, guys, we're going to go ahead and shout out today's sponsor, LaborLama. Check them out at laborlama.com, LABORLAMA.com, and buy a hood, buy something. I'm starving. It's getting rough around here, brother.
yeah, next month's going to be a tough one. Mike's actually talking about going and getting a 9-to-5-er job so that
Gotta do it,
his
brother.
family can eat and still have a roof over their head.
You gotta do it. Which, once again, don't hear this shit and like be pity compelled to buy something. Don't do that.
No, we're gonna keep going.
Yeah, like I said, push comes to shove. I just go get a fucking real job. I did it for most of my life anyway. So, do I enjoy the job of just talking to people? Yeah. Which, I mean, that's honestly what I did when I worked in a factory, was just talk to people a whole
little
bunch.
bit of work here and there, but it was just mostly talking.
Oh, once I got off the die cutter, and then I had a guy running the load former. That's all I did. I'd set it up, start it running, and then walk away. Bit me in the ass a couple times. One time on the die cutter, I was running the big boxes for Steel, the chainsaw brand, and one of the steels was upside down. Now.
Wow.
I don't know if you've ever seen a steel box in a store, but there's so much graphics. It's like an MMA Elite shirt. Literally, that's what it looks like. There's so many graphics on it. So when I'm doing my check of it, I have a picture of the print and I'm checking it off like on the board. And I just like fucking, I'm not
it's
really
good.
looking.
It's good.
One of the steels was upside down. Now their boxes are huge, double wall boxes. So that was like a $60,000 return. I only messed up like 3,000 of them.
Oh, that's not bad.
But it was well, I think it was like multiple orders, but it was $60,000. They blamed it on a guy who made the print plates, so that was good. I would also blame that guy,
Even though it was you.
right? That guy's
You
probably
put it on
hearing this
wrong?
right now, and he's like, "Now I know who
That
to
son
kill."
of a
Right
bitch.
now I know who to hunt. He's probably been hunting me down, and I just gave him the evidence that he needed to
I
find
knew
me.
it this whole time. Mike was out to get me, and he was trying to get me fired.
All right, so we're gonna go into another one. The title says, "You've been hacked." What? I got a Facebook message today from someone claiming to be you. They reached out with an opportunity of a lifetime to make all sorts of money. All I had to do was send them a personal message. I responded with satire, and they did not respond in the manner in which I would perceive you to respond. I took screenshots of the conversation as well as blocking them on Facebook. Please reach out to my email so I can send you the screenshots. I feel that you will find them humorous. Happy Easter. How long ago was this sent?
So I just went back through and grabbed some of the ones that we wouldn't normally do that in an episode, but I thought it was a good one to just be like, yeah, we're not gonna message you.
Bro, I get messages like that all the time. Look, there's only so much I can do when someone decides to create a fake profile of me and then message people. And I'll tell Facebook, I'll be like, hey, you got some hackers over here because they're not me. Facebook's like, nah, we don't really find nothing wrong with them. Seems like a fan page. That's a lot. That's what they'll say a lot is, seems like a fan page.
Yeah, and we're gonna quit paying you, but we might give them some money.
Oh yeah, so Facebook, the way they got us is one of the videos we posted, and I think I've already talked about this, but one of the videos we posted, they took it down and said that it was like violent. I was like, it's not violent. It's me reading a story in humorous jest. And then they reviewed it and they were like, oh yeah, it's perfectly good. So they put it back up. But they didn't put the video back up. They just put the post back up. So it has a status and then it's like video unavailable.
Yeah.
And then didn't take away any of like the strikes or anything. So it's like your growth has been affected by this. It's bullshit after bullshit.
But the hackers are completely fine.
Yeah.
They're not a problem at all.
what money they don't make from content, if they don't make money from it, they are making from the elderly because they fucking love. I mean, you just send an old, like once someone is over the age of 55, if you send them a hacker mat, they instantly believe you. You can say anything.
See, this is what I'm saying is like, we need to figure out that hack. We need to get somebody that's going to, and like, we'll do it for free. They could just like send like a fake monetary donation to listen to the podcast and then share it out to every person in your church group and your, Sunday garden club. Like, just share our podcast far and wide.
Look, they're getting really close to me just being like, all right, we got the new Michael Wright NFTs. We gotta fucking get them while they're hot, brother. I don't even know what an NFT is.
And then on launch day, it's like worth, $1,000 a coin. And then literally an hour after we tank it and we're like, we're millionaires.
That's what the Hot Tua girl allegedly did, right?
Well, that's what everybody in that space does.
Oh, man, I just wish I could fuck people over. I wish I had that bone in my body. Because look, man, like people are like, man, Mike's so like he doesn't like fucking hit us with sponsorships and all this shit and all this other stuff that content creators do, and they laud me for it, all right? And I'm like, yeah, it's like a sense of pride. And then I'll be like, fuck, I need a pack of cigarettes. So it's like, I don't know. I sleep well at night though. Well,
when you sleep,
yeah, sans the actual insomnia that I have with like the ADHD and shit.
Well, you're doing good. You're what, day 2 or 3?
3 into sleeping at night, so it's doing really well. I'm just getting up really early, and I will not, like, if I am dog ass tired, I will not lay down in the bed for 20 minutes. It's like, no, at night that's when we go and lay down. Now, last night I went to bed at like 1:30, which is still great.
Yeah,
that's still
good.
Amazing for me. So that's why I'm able to kind of keep on track a lot better. And we're going to get into another bit of it. But look, see, we're
on number
this.
3.
We're killing this.
I mean,
today.
It helps that they're like 3 sentences long, but.
Well, essentially, so the idea that we originally had was, hey, let's just do like an Am I the Asshole in the beginning, talk a little bit of shit, do another one, and then the rest of the time it would be essentially considered overtime. And that if people wanted to stay, they could, and if they didn't. And then I was just like, it's just easier to fucking separate the two and do one I'll know. People don't know this, but when the cameras turn on, that's when Mike, like with the TikToks and shit, that's when Mike comes to play.
Yeah.
So with that one, I know I'll be locked in because I'll have that. This is my baby, though. Mike and Dylan hate drama. I say it's it's my baby.
Well, it's your therapy.
It's my therapy. I get to say shit that I've never told people, and people just listen, and they're like, "Yeah, it's not weird at all, Mike. You feel just like me," and it's so beautiful to see other people.
Fucked up and
go through the fucked up shit. I'm just like, wow. So this world is great. When you see people that are like, I found people who can relate to me. It's like, fuck, I went through a lot of shit, brother. I'm sorry. Like, that's what I want to say to 99% of the messages when they're just like, oh man, I feel just like you, Mike. I'm just like, well, I'm sorry, brother. So this one says, dang old doctors, dear Dylan and Mike. Weird way to word that. Don't like that.
No, that's the way it's supposed to be.
Don't like that. It doesn't roll up.
Alphabetical.
Mike and Dylan, you use the one that has more syllables. I know so many words, man. You use the one that has more syllables last. I believe.
It's 2 syllables and 2 syllables.
Uh-huh.
Dylan.
I think in this situation, we don't go in alphabetical order. Just like lining up in school, you got to switch it up, or Zach's.
I think when we did...
Zach's always get fucked over.
When we were coming up with the name for this one, there was a bunch of them where we were trying to put the letters in order of something that made funny sense. And so I think for a minute there, we were Dylan and Mike, and then because it was damn
yeah,
something.
And then we changed it to Mike and Dylan give advice to you, which was mad gay because you don't put 2 in an acronym. But I was like, fuck, I want to make at least one thing where potentially somebody could like maybe sponsor it or something.
Yeah, mad gay would have been probably a hard one.
Who sponsors this? Like Cymbalta? Adderall? Whatever big Adderall brand there is out there. This is why you need this. But this one says, dang old doctors. Dear Dylan and Mike, once again. So it's a pretty simple story. I've never been a fan of going to the doctor. Had some not so fun experience as a kid dealing with doctors, like running a bunch of tests to try and find out things, but never finding things.
That's going to the doctor.
That's doctors. Yeah, that's we don't know, brother. Probably gas. Get out of here.
I paid you $3,000 and I'm still sick. And
that'll be $10,000 for that 45 minutes. Like, where the fuck do y'all come up with these numbers from?
well, see, the insurance is going to charge us for this, and then so we charge the insurance back for this. And since you have really shitty insurance, you just get to pay both of us to not do anything at all.
So a bag of saline water that they put into your arm is like $1,000. Heroin is like, I don't know how much of it. It's way cheaper, bro. Just if you want to be pain free, just do heroin. From hundreds of needle pokes to tests for allergies, that all came back negative to hospital visits when I got hurt and getting ready. Or what? To hospital visits when I got hurt and was treated poorly. There we go. My family has a history of heart issues, and my dad recently got diagnosed with something bad with the heart. Too complicated for me to try to spell. It's probably like something arrhythmia. So he wants me to get tested, but honestly, I don't want to. I'm worried it's going to be bad news and it's going to add to my already poor mental health, which I should probably get checked out. Any advice on how to get me to stop being a pussy and just do it? Thanks, y'all are the best. So unfortunately, I do have to go into a story now. Because this goes, we have mentioned a couple times that I have like this weird form of agoraphobia. Like I can still go outside and do like normal shit. I just get real panicky sometimes, which is honestly, it's doing great here recently. And hopefully it doesn't come back to bite me in the ass at the all-star race that we're going to this weekend. The reason I bring that up is because it was, I can't remember dates to save my life, but we went to Richmond, which is a NASCAR race. And I went with my father-in-law, which is crazy because I'm not really a fan of NASCAR and I'm not really a fan of my father-in-law. So going there with him was just like, yeah, I'll do it. So this was actually what got me to quit the tramadol. So I taken like 6 or 7 when we went, and then we get there, and while we were there, you know, the fucking cars start driving by, but it was the helicopters in the sky. I kept looking at it, and I was getting real lightheaded, and I had my first ever panic attack, which before then, anything with anxiety, I was just like one of those, just go outside and touch some grass, brother, get some sunlight, breathe a little bit. Don't be a bitch. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's when I kind of had that first one, and then I took him home. Or we went home, and then he needed me to drive him to Charlotte Airport. And I drive him to Charlotte Airport, and, you know, the airplanes are flying over, and it's doing the same thing. And on the way back, man, I thought I was having a heart attack. And for a good 8 months after that, I was just like, now I'm going through all this shit where the first time in my life, I'm still young at this point, early 20s. The first time in my life, I just feel like I'm not immortal anymore.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I'm mortal. I'm coming to terms with morality and shit, or mortality and shit. And it caused a whole slew of like, now I'm dealing with anxiety and, you know, coming to terms with that one day I'm going to die. And the worst part was the thought of leaving my children behind. Like, I don't care if I just die, but like leaving them behind and how they feel. Like when I was thinking about this stuff, it wasn't me being sad or anything like that. The best way to get over that, bud, is to just understand there's shit in life you can't control. No matter how bad you want to control it, it's out of your hands. So the best thing to do when something's out of your hands, not give a fuck about it. Me, anytime I have something like, you know, weird place starts hurting, heart's beating fast or whatever, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna give it 2 weeks. If it's still there, I'll go get it. I'll start worrying about it. That's the thing that really got me over that hump. And since then, I've been able to deal with shit pretty well. But it's weird having that, you know, moment in life where you're this kid who fucking, like I said, I was doing tons of drugs. Like now I have to look at the back of like an ibuprofen bottle. And I'm like, well, I don't want to do too much damage. I'll take 2 of them instead of 4.
Yeah.
Where I would just, you know, I did bath salts one time because a guy was like, hey, you want to try this? And I didn't even know what it was.
Drugs? Sure.
My friend Matt actually did it with us. And he's like walking around. He's like, I mean, I can feel my heart beating. I can feel my heart beating. I was like, that's good, ain't it? I'm pretty up right now. Yeah, he was pretty freaked out about it. But yeah, it's tough, man. And I do hope that you get shit figured out. But also you got to realize your father's old. And just because a man's having heart problems in his 50s and 60s, even his late 40s, does not mean that you're going to have the same heart problems.
I think my advice on that is like, it's one of those things where, yeah, at some point you're going to need to go and get that checked out. And like the mental health thing, yeah, that's also something that you can avoid things. And I've done this with my life and with different ailments and things like that. You can avoid it for as long as you can stand. But, you know, technically with most things, the sooner you actually find out about it, and it's not as scary. Like, even if you were to have the same heart issue as him, you can make decisions today that actually improve that situation later in life. So, it is scary to face it, but at the same time, if you face it now, you can set yourself up for a greater success in the future. Like, avoiding something does not make it necessarily better.
Well, you can tell how he wrote it. His fear is that he is scared. He doesn't want the doctors to tell him that it's nothing and him just like sit there and wonder. But also, he doesn't want it to turn out to be something bad. Like, that's his big fear in it.
Yeah.
So he's in a lose-lose situation. So even if your fucking heart's giving out, if cancer or whatever, the best thing to do is just not fucking worry about it, man. Because
yeah, like, I mean, it's
people are resilient, more resilient than you think.
Stoicism thing, though. Like, you actually, he has the ability to go and find out whether he's got the same likelihood of having this disease or whatever that his dad does, which then allows you to maybe exercise more, eat better, do whatever, and like change your life. Like, if you don't have that outlook on life, then just roll on with what you got. But if you actually want to impact it, like, there is the thing that you can affect right now, which is find out about it and then make decisions in your life based upon that. Or you can ignore it and, like, I mean, I guess that's part of the stoicism thing too, is like, whatever, if I don't know about it, it doesn't matter. But there's a situation where technically, if you want to live a long, happy, healthy life, you go ahead and find out about it now, prepare yourself, like, and then decide, like, okay, well, if I were to actually take care of my health, I'm more likely to not be in the situation that my dad's in.
Brother, listen. I'm at the point now, though, because like I said, I used to be like that, where I was like, they're just going to tell me it's nothing. And it probably is nothing. But when they tell me it's nothing, I'm just going to, believe that they just didn't catch something. And then I'm going to do this all the way until they figure out that it is something terrible and I'm going to die. Now I'm to the point where I could be sitting in front of a doctor and he'd be like, Mike, your heart's going out. And either you start eating right and exercising, or in 8 months, you ain't going to be here anymore. And I'm like, oh. So, like, I should start looking at coffins. He's like, no. Like, you can live a full life if you just eat better and, run some. And I'm just going to be like, so coffins. And talk to like a funeral director, start getting like a will in order. He's like, no, you ain't got to do that, man. Like, if you just exercise, a little bit, power walk outside. And I'm just like, yeah, so this will probably be the last time I'm seeing you, Doc.
Coffins expensive? Or?
Right. Unfortunately, I ain't got long, Doc. I just found this out. And he's like, yeah, for me.
Yeah, no, I just think with him, like, his dad has a situation and it should be pretty easy. Like, he's not suffering from it currently. So, like, it just runs in his family. So, like, if you know that your family has this, you can make decisions based upon that right now, is my thing. And you can affect that. If it's like cancer or something, you can still, like, choose how you treat it or not treat it or anything like that. But, like, knowing at least puts you in a position to do something if you would like to. If you don't want to, like, if you want to take Mike's route and just be like, all right, check out.
I'm going to interrupt you, but if I had terminal cancer, because that's the one thing though too, is I just want my kids to remember me how I was. I don't want to, like, fucking heart attack, great, because that just takes you out. You know what I'm saying? You don't wither away. But anything that like ALS or something that withers you away, I'm gonna wait until it gets real bad, and then I'm just gonna go like pew one of those halfway houses for pedophiles, go out in a blaze of glory. Because I don't want my kids to just like look back and think,
like the trailer parks that they have down in Florida, where they just like this is where pedophiles live, and just go in there, like
go through that. Like, that's what I can't stand about Matt. They're always like schools, concerts. If they went through one of those, bro, like, you want to talk about, they want the infamy, the notoriety from doing it. They want people.
You would be famous.
You would be, yes, but you would be loved. You would be feared, and like, you would have the infamy with all the right people, like, to have infamy with pedophiles. But everybody else would just fucking love you.
Yeah,
I guarantee you. Also, if you didn't like blast yourself at the end, which is like what 99%.
But the cops take you out, or
right. If you just get arrested for it, there's a chance they might just be like, he's crazy or something like that, or the jury's just like, meh.
Yeah.
Meh.
So wait, who did he kill? Oh yeah, no, we're good. Like, not guilty.
Imagine being a district attorney trying to fucking argue against that. He
killed 92
it doesn't matter
pedophiles.
how many children somebody touched, and then everybody's like, whoa, what the fuck? That sounds real pedophile like. That's like I said in a video one time, and I'll kind of reiterate it on the first episode of
Two Daddies Judging Baddies.
Two Daddies Judging Baddies, about the one where the lady chooses a man who, like an old man who's attracted to his daughter. There was a video one time that I was talking about that said, it was pretty much a Leonardo DiCaprio joke that, once a 17-year-old girl turns 18, that one day did not make them an adult, and it's still fucking weird.
Yeah.
And I posted that, and someone had commented below. And it was like, brother, you sound like a liberal. I was like, I don't think it's our left or right take to be like, yeah, it's cool to fuck kids. I don't think that's a take on either side. Nobody has ever brought that up.
Well, my great grandparents got married when they were 14.
Right? Yeah. My
like
grandma was 14. Like, it's like Shoeless Joe Jackson. Yeah, Shoeless Joe Jackson. He was 23 and married a 15-year-old.
Yeah,
that's not good. That's not good, brother. That was in like 1908, so that's a different time.
Yeah,
like, hey, my brother couldn't have known any better. And he's just like, what's the what do they call it? The age of consent. I almost said statute of limitations. The age of consent. It was like, it's 14. All right, well, fucking, you've been an adult for a year now. So fucking weird. Damn, I got off on that tangent. I don't remember what I was talking about. Oh yeah, I actually finished my thought before I went off on a tangent. So yeah, I posted a fucking video that said that, and he was like, "Oh, you sound like for saying that I don't like adults having sex with children."
Well, at least he didn't call you like a libtard or what.
Oh man, I get called
cool.
I get called
names.
I get called libtard for my takes. I get called a fascist, a maggot. I'm just a normal fucking person, and if I say something,
you guys realize that both of you are calling me the other name. Both of you, so both of you are mad about my take. Don't slam your cup down.
Oh yeah, fuck me. But it's just so like I don't have to.
There can
conform
just be
to either side. Yeah, I could have a normal fucking rational take on something.
Yes, there can be a normal take that's not based in any
The right is
political...
right about some stuff. The left is right about some stuff. I do not have to pick everything from every side.
Well, and then there's like shitty people in both sides of like they're just shitty humans, and we can agree that like maybe that's not
like
a cool
ones
person.
that are all the way to the right and ones that are all the way to the left. I just wish they'd go ahead and battle it out so America could be normal again.
It will never be.
Just go through like one super war.
Well, one of the things is that it's not really even the people; it's the media that they get angry about. Like
the media just likes to portray people like the worst sides of each side. They go to the far depths of both sides of crazy to make each side hate each other, and it works phenomenally.
And look like a villain,
right?
Like no, that is fucking
like they
crazy.
get the one person that has like the nose ring that's like buttoned down to the lip that goes up to like their ears and their hair's green. And they have a beard and boobs at the same time, and it's just like the other side's like, I feel really uncomfortable, and they're
so then
on the other end of the spectrum, they got one guy that's just like, yeah, I mean, I don't like black people being in America. I think they're sinning, and then they're like, oh, the whole right thinks about that. That's not there's the fucking normal people. There's black people in the right. And then the left the whole time, they're like, they're like wolf people that want to teach gay theory. There's like, bro, that's
you remember the
minority, not the majority.
Them putting kitty litter boxes in schools debate.
That never happened.
Yeah, but everybody believed it.
Bro, I said that so assuredly. And another thing that they do, and I'm not going to like mention any names on either side. Like I'm not going to reference none of like the Charlie Kirks or anybody like that. But people like that do the interviews and shit with the other side, those are paid fucking interviews. I don't know if you guys know this, but they pay somebody, right and left people, that want to push their sides and seem like a really smart person and just pawn the other side and own them. They fucking pay people to come up and say the most egregious shit that nobody fucking believes. And then they're like, well, this right here, silver bullet to your argument, bam. Like, it's a real fucking easy silver bullet to say, hey, like, well, so you believe that 6-year-olds, you should be able to do sex changes on 6-year-olds. That's what you believe. And the other person will be like, yeah, it's that a child should be able to And then he'll be like, well, this right here. I'm like, bro, nobody fucking believes that. Jesus Christ. But let's get off of politics for, Mike and Dylan hate drama. And Mike's like getting real into it. Do you really hate it, Mike? Do you really hate it?
Mike and Dylan hate politics.
And I used to, man, listen, I fucked with some Joe clips, but goddamn, bro, just like back in the day, he'd assess shit and he'd let it like seep in. Now someone could tell him literally anything. And he believes it. Just believes it right there. And then we'll fucking throw that up in like an expert's. I'm like, brother, he used to be like, well, and use cognitive thinking to fucking bounce back and forth. But I think he's also getting back to that instead of being so hard on one side.
Well, I think it's like what happened with South Park when they had the whole election thing during the Trump and Hillary thing. Like they were pushing the boundaries of like how current they could be. And like with Joe, like he pushed the boundaries of like being a free, open dialogue space. Right. And then now he's like, wait a second. Like they said this thing, but they're actually doing this thing.
So it's a learning experience too. I still fuck with a lot of his clips. I could not watch an 2-hour podcast.
People love him or hate him. I mean, it's the same dichotomy of like politics is like you either have to think he's the devil or you think he's like the savior. And it's like, no, he could just be a guy.
He's just a guy. Yeah, that's how I view him. That's how I've always viewed him. Like, and what's so funny is, especially a couple years ago, the whole right would be like, well, you know, Joe Rogan's liberal.
He's liberal.
Yeah, and then the liberals would be like, well, you know, Joe Rogan's a MAGA person. I don't fucking know what they call what do they call him?
I mean, it's the same.
Libtard's the best. I'm sorry, but libtard is just, it's so dumb it works. It's so, and then they say maggots, which, I mean, it fits so good because MAGA and just putting the T behind it, it does. That is a great one. It just fits too well.
But none of those burns are actually, like, it's just, like, they're all dumb. Like when you,
I'm gonna say one thing though, the right has a big advantage in the arguing space because the people on the left will like say their fucking point. Guys on the right will be like, sounds gay, woo, like, and then the fucking the people on the left, they'll make like clappy songs, like get your fingers off my body, and I'm like, bro, that's the corniest fucking shit, the corniest shit. And if you can't say like, if you can't call people gay because they do like to fuck. They're real. What is the word? Holier than thou. There's a lot of there's a lot of holier than thou over there.
Yeah.
Where on the right, it is like, especially when you go more towards like the far left, they get really holier than thou.
Well, it's almost like that virtue signaling.
Yeah, you got to be this. Like, I love black people infinitely more than you ever can. Like with trans people, I once I chopped my wiener, you know, they get like really weird over there. And then as soon as like one of them fucks up and they
roast them.
Yeah, they just consume them. Like they fucking cancel them and they're gone.
Well, that was like
but on the far right, once you get like all the way to where like the fucking crazies are, and they're like, yeah, man, they're fucking putting kids in like fucking chairs and they're shipping them off to these billionaires to collect in their house. The people like near the center of the right will be like, bro, fucking sound crazy, brother, but fuck, you want to go play some pool or something? probably not talk about that where people can hear. So they do have a better repertoire with that shit.
I think my best example of like the crazy left, and like, you know, both me and Mike, we don't prescribe to any political view.
We have friends of all political affiliations.
But it was the stereotypical Karen that was trying to like basically judge somebody for cultural appropriation at like a taco truck, and then like it's like some white guy that's the actual waiter, but then the guy cooking in the back is like Chinese, and then like, you know, the person that owns
fucks her up,
and he's the boyfriend or friend was like, you don't know who to be offended by right now, do you? Like,
was it like a skit or something?
Yeah, and it was just funny because like it is one of those things where, you know, a lot of white people are the biggest advocates for these things that a lot of people in that actual class are like, no, we're cool with it. Like, not a big deal. We're not going to die on that hill. And then the white people are like, we have to like fight to the death for this cause that like the people that are actually affected by it are like, no, we got bigger shit to worry about. We got bigger fish to fry. Right. Like,
my thing with the fucking right is though, is they just look at a meme and believe it. I'm like, yep. That's factual right there. Any video. I have a friend on Facebook. I'm not going to say his name just in case he watches these, because he probably does. Probably like, man, maybe I can do some juicy fucking information from Mike and him doing all his. I don't do any fucking research, but he shares videos, and it'll be the craziest shit you've ever fucking heard in your life. And then you'll look at the comment section, and it's just like, it's all old people, and they're just like, yeah, man, I believe it. I was like, well, you shouldn't. You shouldn't just believe something you see on the internet. You motherfuckers told us to never believe anything on the internet. And they will immediately, they'll be like, fucking, well, I saw a meme 2 days ago that said, you better watch out. They're putting the cat litter in the schools. I said that, man. I said that with like fucking, with Gunther. Like I said it with my chest, and then someone was like, I think that never happened. I'm pretty sure that's never ever been a thing. I was like, watch this.
Oh yeah, no, it never happened.
Man, you know what's crazy? Fucking dinosaurs all died in one tar pit. Like, it's so crazy.
And that's where we get our gasoline from.
That is beautiful.
All right, let's go
Oh
on
yeah,
to-
let's get into another one. We went way long in that, but I'm leaving it. I don't give a fuck. That's another thing, man. Fucking,
No, that's the one. That's the one you're supposed to be reading now. You already read.
Oh, wait, what? Really? No, I haven't read that one. That was a big one. This one's pretty big. This one says, title, my sister really hates white people.
It's a good one to get started.
Oh, look at that. Well, now we're right back in it. I'm back in. Dear Mike and Dylan. Rings better.
Nah, I mean,
I love the content, and it helps my shifts at Costco feel quicker than they are.
shout out Costco.
Right.
Love me some Costco.
Sponsor us.
Me and Jess ate for $11 yesterday, and we had a decent meal at Costco.
Bro, they're so good. They have such good shit.
Yeah.
But bringing up the Costco thing, I don't know why it made me remember this. For the people with anxiety, the best thing I ever found out if you're having like a panic attack or something is do this. I learned that from a white woman on TikTok who
Nice.
probably named her kid after a brand of yogurt, but it worked. So I was like, fuck yeah. All right. We are first generation African Americans born to our 2 immigrant parents. Black people like us? Yes. Yeah, oh man. That is great. Nah, I actually know that a ton of black people enjoy my content just from like the Facebook and stuff. When you look in the comment section, it's all black people. And I'm just like, fuck yeah.
Not all, but a lot, yeah.
Well, you know, black people fuck with me, so that's pretty nice. So needless to say, we are black. I got that part. Well, no, can't judge anymore because Dricus du Plessis, the middleweight champion for the UFC, he is South American, whiter than me. So if he came over here, he'd be an African American. Or I don't fucking know how
You
that
said
works.
South American.
I don't no. He's from
South Africa?
South Africa. Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
yeah.
tripping.
No, South Africans,
tripping.
there's white people.
Oh, well, you know, it's all these other countries with non-white. Why would I pay attention to the non? I don't pay attention to the non-white countries. He's like, oh, fuck, I fucked up sending him my advice. While growing up, my sister was always an asshole to me and my parents, but as she got older, her anger and arrogance have gotten out of hand. She gets angry at us for next to no reason and cuts us off for a few days. But the reason why is a lot worse now because due to my mom getting diagnosed with cancer, we both, I did not
Just
read
keep
that.
reading. You're good.
She gets angry at us for next to no reason and cuts us off for a few days. But the reason why this is a lot worse now is because due to my mom getting diagnosed with cancer, we both moved in to help her. Okay, there we go. I read too fast. Well, they don't put punctuation, so I don't know when to do my pause. That's what a comma's for. I do a slight pause, and then I do a little bit longer pause with the periods.
The only person that wasn't keeping up with that was you in your head, but I think you read it all perfectly.
I don't think I did. I think it was fucking confusing.
Well, you do try to like race downhill with the reading of these.
Dylan's like, can I read the stories? I'm like, yeah, but then I can't fucking, I'm like, I have to read it to fucking learn it. And so Dylan will read a story and I'm like, wait, so what happened? They were actually doing that? I'm just like getting the words and they're like bouncing off my smooth brain. I honestly don't know when she became so racist, but now she never lets an hour go by without insulting white people. The reason why this affects me so much is my girlfriend of 2 years that I plan on proposing to is white. My sister has been very obvious in the fact that she doesn't like my girlfriend, but when my mom asked why, she exploded and said she's rude and doesn't speak to the family. I know that she's just pulling reasons out of her ass because my girlfriend is one of the sweetest people, and everyone in the family loves her. He put sweetest person as one of the sweetest person. She graduates this week, and even my sister-in-law, my brother's wife, want to come see her graduate. This hasn't affected my relationship in any way because I don't care what my sister thinks, but it does make me feel bad that it hurts my girlfriend. It's caused me a lot of anger recently, but hearing your guys' podcast has honesty brings me some happiness. So, I was curious, hearing the situation, what would you guys do? Listen, it's tough. It's tough. There is a lot of, I don't know. This is the bad thing with America is that people get lumped into fucking groups. I don't understand why people there's bad black people, there's bad white people, there's bad Hispanic people. In the cartels, every Hispanic person that I've met is always like the sweetest fucking, all the dads are like, they're short and they're older and they're kind of, and they're great families too. Have you ever seen a Hispanic family at Walmart?
You just said in cartels and then like
Yeah, bro. Mexicans are either the most like fucking adorable family you've ever seen, or cartel. That's it. That's it.
Oh, once again, you're lumping them into groups.
I did it, but that's the one you lump. That's the one you lump.
See, I agree with your take though. Like, I mean, and just to talk to your like about your sister, I mean, she's just a toxic family member. That's normal across the board with any family. Like, you're gonna have people like you have a shitty uncle or a shitty aunt. Like, I know that for my family, there's just people that we're like, no, we don't fuck with them. And like, I'm sorry, it's your sister, and like, obviously your parents are gonna care about her, but like, she's just your shitty sister. Like, your girlfriend, soon to be fiance, does not need to fuck with her, and just be like, nah, we just don't talk about her. We don't jive with her at all. Like, we'll see her at family gatherings, but like, she's not one of our people.
And a thing that will make you feel better too is if she's saying mean and hateful shit, just ignore it, man. Because people who prioritize that shit in their life, instead of like living life, look, I don't give a fuck if you care about politics. That's a okay thing to care about. Once you make it your whole personality, just know that person's miserable. They're never fucking happy. Yeah. There's nothing that makes them happy. There's always something that they're upset about, that they're mad about. It just happens, man. Like, it happens. There's, black people who don't like white people who don't like black people. There's fucking nothing we can do about it. It's very hard to change someone who's like that.
Well, and the way that typically that's going to change over time is, I mean, it's the same scenario as what you dealt with as a kid, and like, having KKK as part of your family, or like, whatever step family, but like having that experience and then having a legitimately nice experience with the people that they're saying are so evil. The same thing goes for your sister. Like, she can have in her mind painted a picture of your fiance. Let me finish my topic. But like, she can have that picture in her mind, but like, as long as your girlfriend doesn't play into her games of like being rude or anything like that, just be like, hey, what up? And like, never, if she doesn't want to talk, she doesn't want to talk. But like, if she just literally shows up in your family and everybody else supports her and everybody else is excited to have her as part of the family, your sister will either A, never change and still be the same girl she is, or she might see like, okay, maybe I'm misjudging this situation. Maybe I am the one that's wrong in putting this blame on somebody who hasn't done anything wrong to me.
The only thing that invalidates your point now is that we have fucking the internet and people live in fucking echo chambers. So to have a good experience with somebody now is incredibly difficult.
Well, no, not if you like. It's if you live your whole entire life and your whole brain is online, then sure, and like you can find
That's
like
most people, brother.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is when you're at the family gathering, when you're at Thanksgiving, if you guys celebrate it, or Christmas or whatever, like if you're at those gatherings and your sister's being your sister and your wife or fiance, girlfriend currently never does anything that is offensive or terrible towards your sister, like your sister has no ammo to go on. Like, she's just judging based upon her skin color, which is wrong no matter which skin color you're judging. And eventually, maybe with enough times of seeing that your wife or girlfriend is an extremely good person at heart, maybe she does eventually learn. Like, it's not like, and
I don't know. I don't think she should fucking sit back and take the harassment and bullying. I mean, she should fucking punch her in the mouth. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and prove her point. Like, that's the exact opposite of like you
shouldn't have to like cater to somebody.
I'm not saying you were like, like it's exactly what we were talking about with these people that are like apologists for, the other side of the political spectrum, like left or right. Like, you don't have to accept it. You don't have to like, but you also don't prove them right by being the shitbag that they're saying you're being. Like, so like with her, and if the rest of the family jives with her, she just shows up and is still that great person. If the sister starts acting like a cunt, you're just like, all right, whatever. Like, you don't have to participate, and you don't have to like, I mean, I know you joke about violence all the time, but like, that's never going to be the case at a family gathering unless you have that drunk uncle or whatever that needs his ass kicked. But like, like for the most part, as long as nobody's like being physically hurt, you have bitchy or asshole family members, and like the easiest way to fucking get rid of them is to just be like, cool story, bro, and then go back to being nice to everybody else that's in the fucking group. Like, you don't have to be the asshole back to them to fight that. Like, you don't win that fight by being more of an asshole to that person.
Right. It just feels weird that the girlfriend would have to go through every day of, the fucking like snide comments and shit like that. And if she even
do they live together?
Shows emotion. One time they live with the mom. Yeah, they both moved in to help the mom with cancer.
Does the girlfriend live in there?
I don't know.
Like, imagine if he gets married, he's probably not going to continue to live at that house.
I don't know. As long as he's taking care of his mom. I do want to say I hope your mom gets better.
Definitely.
100%. That's one thing me and Dylan can agree on. We pretty much agree on everything. I do think that violence in some circumstances is.
It's just not worth it.
Man, it's just really hard to dissuade a bully these days. They like to stick on it real well, and just a subtle but firm pop to the nose. Really, then they're like, man, I'll think twice about that.
Yeah. I don't think you're going to fix racism that way.
Nah, you're not going to fix racism that way, but I don't know.
I mean, there's been a lot of those fights that have went on through racist history.
Bro, that's rough.
None of it's.
I don't understand why you would listen to this podcast and be like, I gotta ask Mike a racially motivated advice piece.
I think that one was like one of the best ones that we've had because, you know, it's the alternative to like kind of your childhood and who were in your life. And he's from a different country that moved here, and like to see that racism from that side coming this way, like that's one thing that's not talked about a lot, but it's definitely there. It's
who's from a different country?
The guy that wrote it. I mean, he's African American. He's from, like, his parents are first generation immigrants, and
is that what it said?
He's their first. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Like, his parents are immigrants, and then him and his sister are first generation. But it's another one of those scenarios of like, you know.
Oh, this is not even the fucking story. I'm like, where is it at?
But there, like, I dated a Hispanic girl, and they were racist against other Hispanics and black people.
Man,
and Asians. Like, I mean,
white people get a lot of the flack, man, but online, bro, Mexicans and black people go to war.
Oh, yeah.
They go to war, and it's just like both sides get by with saying whatever. I'm just like, that's wild. They go at it though.
Yeah. Well,
Just
I mean,
go to Instagram, any Instagram post of a Hispanic guy doing anything or a black guy doing anything, and just look at the comments.
well, they used to call them Germans
Who?
instead of calling, when they talk about black people, the Hispanic people, when they talked about black people, they would call them Germans, so that people didn't know that they were talking about black people.
Oh,
Like, so that was like their code word of being racist, was they'd be like the Germans.
I wonder if
Because nobody ever gets mad when you talk bad about the Germans. Like,
I wonder if like Germans today, like people are like, your people did the Holocaust. And I'm like, bitch, I didn't tell them to. Like, I wasn't sitting there being like, yeah, do that fucking terrible ass shit.
well, the crazy thing is, it's gaining.
I wonder if it happens over there.
that style of stuff is not that far fetched anymore. Like, I mean, people around the world are like, oh, well, maybe we could do that. Maybe we could do that again.
Shit gets weird, man. Shit gets weird. All right, so hopefully this one's way more lighthearted.
This is a good send off to put people over onto the Am I the Assholes, where we won't go
Right. It's like,
in-depth
I
on
don't
these
want to
topics.
hear this shit at fucking all, buddy. All right, this one says work advice. Thank God. So there's this black guy at work. Oh, fuck. No, fuck with you.
That's not how that one
Jesus
starts.
Christ, I can't escape it. All right. The message says, if you want to use my name, that's cool. Dylan always deletes them, so.
I take them off.
Hi, Mike and Dylan. I was needing some advice about my job. I'll do the best to keep it short and sweet, but also providing as much context as possible. So, to basically sum up my life, I've never really had any aspirations. Samesies, brother. Like, I hated growing up, and just like, there was nothing I really wanted to be. It was like lawyer. I looked at so many kids who had like dreams and shit, and I was like, man, must be nice. I don't want to do none of that shit.
I fell into mine.
Like even acting and shit, like, or fucking comedy. It wasn't like when I was going through high school, that wasn't like, that's what I want to do. And still to this day, I was like, wow, I try to get passionate about something.
I don't know what I'll be when I grow up.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I'm still trying to figure that out. We'll find out in 40 years. Oh, Mike chose to be homeless. Not 40 years. That's 10 years. 10 years from now. We'll find out. Not 40 years from now. I'll be long gone. I started having suicidal thoughts and tendencies at 10 years old. I never thought I'd do anything with my life. I told myself I was hanging on for people around me. When I finally got out of high school and it was time to start working, I ended up just working in a warehouse and picking up some forklift experience. Nice. This allowed me to become a forklift operator and move around jobs a couple of times and managed to start making more money than I ever thought I would. It wasn't much, but I didn't think I'd have anything more than minimum wage. I ended up getting in a loving relationship, and I was blessed with the most wonderful daughter and partner from this. Having my daughter completely changed my life. I have stopped the suicidal tendencies for the most part, It even made me step up and get a promotion at my company. I went from just a forklift operator, material handler, to a much more important role. I work at a company where we make oil for all different types of small engines, and my position is a blender. So I'm in charge of actually making all the fluid. It can be very stressful because a mistake can easily cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. I love the job because it's hands-on, and I've worked my way into a good spot in the company. Anytime they need help at one of the other locations, I'm the first one of the higher-ups to come see if I can help out. The problem with the company is since November, we have slowed down drastically. We went from 60 hours a week to barely getting our 40 with no real promise of picking back up anytime soon. This has started to affect me because I'm barely scraping by and living check to check. Where I need advice is there's a company down the street that pays forklift operators $3 more an hour, and there's an opportunity for overtime consistently. But I'd be at the back of the bottom of the totem pole and just a regular worker. If I stay in my role, I can move to a much bigger role in a big city, and in 3 years, move to a much bigger city in 3 years to work at a refinery and start making $100,000 or more, according to my supervisors. Sorry if this was drug out. Hope it wasn't that hard to read. Thanks for all your content. It honestly gets us through our day. Hopefully you and Dylan will get that big payday you both deserve soon. Brother, I need it. Brother, listen. Like I said, I worked at box shop, and then I went to be a supervisor, making more money. The thing is I'm like you. I find my happiness when I'm with my children. So above all of, when you're looking and deciding for a job, I understand, you want to get your kids nice things. You want to set them up for success and everything like that. The ideal situation is that you find that and are able to spend time with your kids. But if somewhere pays a little bit less and you get to spend more time with your daughter, obviously the one person in life who makes you happy, makes you want to actually be on this planet, that's what I'd prioritize, because we do get really, really stuck on, we feel bad if we can't get our kid something they want right here, right here and now, if we can't get it for them. The thing is in 10 to 15 years, your daughter's not going to remember, man, this one time I wanted this and my dad got it or didn't get it for me. She's just going to remember the times that dad was there. So just out of all these jobs, you really didn't go into like the hours and stuff like that. If you're able to hit somewhere close to where, you're getting by decently, and you're able to spend time with your daughter, that's what I'd prioritize, man, because that's where your happiness is going to be. Because I was the one that was working, 12 hours, 7 days a week, because fucking bringing in, more money than I'd ever seen. I was able to, get a house and everything and turn my life around. And I was just like, man, I'm getting all this stuff. I'm not fucking happy. And I'd get videos of, my daughter doing cheerleading, singing to me in a car. So, I'd get happy birthday videos where she's singing to me because I work third shift. They would always send one at midnight me and Amy share the same birthday, by the way. They would send me a video on our birthday. So that's what I'd prioritize. Also, fuck, I need are these around North Carolina? Because I gotta figure something out.
Yeah, I think, I mean, my take is very similar to Mike's take, but I think the thing that, you say you're barely scraping by, how can you make your living expenses smaller? Because that's one of the first things you can do is like cut unneeded stuff and be able to survive in the situation that you're in. Or, if you were to move to another place, but like prioritize the family first. But one of the easiest things you can do is not spend so much money, because it's so easy to like grow into a lifestyle. You were used to the 60 hour a week paychecks, and like that would be something I would look at going forward, is like live off of your 40 and 60s going into savings or whatever. But like you should never like depend on the overtime.
Dylan is responsible adult. He is.
Well, like when
the stuff he's saying, like all the streaming platforms, I was like, I don't even fucking watch these.
Yeah.
Why do I have them? One was like Crevo, bleep blocks. I'm like, why do I even fucking have these?
Yeah.
So that is definitely a path you could take. I'm decently irresponsible, not like crazily irresponsible. My irresponsibility comes more from like, I don't know, smoking cigarettes and drinking energy shots. I need to fucking get those
are the first
better
things to cut out.
Right, yeah. But everything's by this point, everything's been cut out. So,
but that was one of the things when I first went full time working for myself. I had saved up a decent amount and then like kind of was just living off of that. But that was, I think my daughter was maybe 9 months old at the time, and I went out and I tried to find work and everything like that, but I spent a lot of my time just with her, being there for nap time, doing like anything that I could with her. So I got to see her first steps and I got to do all those things. And I went from savings to nothing before like money started
out of work.
before money started rolling in. And I was, working and doing things to do that. But like technically I always look back and I'm like, I should have just stayed with my full-time job. But then when I look at it, like I would not have been there for all those key moments. I would have been working overtime. I would have been, every single day I'd be gone off to work, and all those moments of being able to feed her lunch or like be part of the family while she was like really coming into her own. And I'm still at this point, she's 4, and I get to be in a lot of those moments because of what we do. And we are starving and broke at the same time. But like, I would rather be starving and broke than be making a shit ton of money and never seeing
Like me
my
and Dylan
family.
could be like fucking, I don't know, traveling to state to do fucking stand-up comedy shows and shit like that, bro. I'm not going to sacrifice my relationship with my children, because listen to any fucking comedian that's ever been on a podcast. It was like, well, I either have a terrible relationship with my kids or they don't know who the fuck I am. So that's
the way that I heard it said, and like it's stuck with me ever since, and it's kind of the point that you're getting at with like not buying them the stuff, is one of my friends' dads, like he was battling cancer and he passed away from that, but she had said like, my dad didn't always get me what I want, but he always gave me what I need. And like that's the thing, is like the needs, like a roof over your head, food in your belly. Like,
brother, I'm so convinced that you were like a 90-year-old guy, and then you did like one of those get out moments where you put your brain, because that's like, bro, that's what dads say. That's what like old dads say. Not even us dads. I remember back when we were kids, man, dads were old. They were fucking old people. Me and Amy are the youngest parent. Like all the little kids in there, they're like, yeah, my dad's like 60. I'm like, bro, he's gonna fucking die before he graduates high school. And the kid's like, what? I was like, sorry, brother, that's the nature of the beast. 60 years old, you want to have a kid? Like they are all old. And I'm like, that's wild.
Well, a lot of people waited and waited and waited. Like, and I mean, honestly, I didn't have my daughter until I was 33, and like a lot of people wait for so long to have their kids. And I mean, yeah, it is one of those things. Like my parents were 30 when they had me. I was 33 when I
think it's more enjoyable to be, because I can't tell you what it's like to be an old parent, but it's more enjoyable because you can like me and my kids will play Roblox together. I don't think that would have happened if I got to...
Dude, you'd be like 72 and still playing Roblox. That's just you.
I'm
That's
just a
your
kid at
style.
heart. Yeah, I'm a kid at heart. So that fucking sucks, though. I wish I was the Dylan, the what you need and saving and everything. Fuck, I was about to say something, and it left my brain.
It's all good.
Because you cut me off.
Yeah.
I'm the one.
First time.
I am the one who cuts off people.
I got it.
So yeah, fucking crazy episode. I don't know. We got really, I say decently political. I don't think really political. They were both all like, I don't think either side hearing it's going to be mad, but also they're just going to be like, no, don't talk about it again, guys. Just shut the fuck up, okay? You can never say anything that like pleases both. Like we should all just come together.
Even though it's technically what they'll be saying, like both sides could say the same thing and be like, this is what, and they will cut each other's throats saying like, you're a Nazi, you're a fascist, like you're the worst. And it's like, you guys said the same thing.
So there's a dark out. I'm just going to say the fucking joke. And both sides call each other Nazis. And I was like, you know what America needs? We need like, and then I was like, I'm going to start a real Nazi movement. So both sides could be like, oh, fuck this
those guys.
And then I was going to be the enemy, the common enemy that man had to fight to unite the world. And I was like, maybe we shouldn't send that out to people.
No.
It was one of those sleepless jokes.
A dark
I was like, did I really say
humor,
that I was going to start a Nazi movement just so like all of America would be like, we got to fight that guy?
They'd still find a way that like one of them would be like, well, he's kind of right on that. Or they would find a way to still be separated.
Nah, I think we need like true evil threat on something just like nobody agrees on.
Or we all
bro, speaking of something that nobody agrees on, what the fuck is it called? South Park had an episode of it and I did not think it was real, but it was something. It's like it's an organization where they are attracted to children. NAMBLA. Or yeah, it's like NAMBLA or something like that. Real fucking organization.
Oh, no, it's
real. They still have members, and I'm like, bro, why don't we all just fight these guys? Like, could you imagine like a fucking Midwestern country boy teamed up with like someone with blue hair and a bunch of piercings, like the abstract of both sides, just teaming up together to beat up a pedophile? That's fucking beautiful. I almost cried saying that. Like, imagine that. That would solve America.
We'll see, and that
Or
would be
aliens.
great. And then there's another option is we could all just fucking understand that like we're in this together, and it's mostly working class poor people against.
Nah, there's no more olive branch. If you extend the olive branch, the other person's going to take you and beat you with that olive branch.
Because of the media, because of the shit that people ingest and the arguments that they find passionate in. Like,
see, here's the problem though, is 100 people can listen to this podcast and be like, yes, I want to, extend. I want to come together as citizens. And then as soon as that happens, millions of people are going to be involved in a media story, and
yeah, they'll find a way to switch it and make everybody fight with each other again. But like, that's the part that is the sad part is like, yes, we could find a common enemy. So like Nazis, say, or
Aliens.
an Nambla or Nimbly, or I can't remember what the name of it is, but like, or aliens, or people could just be like, wait a second. We're getting like drug around by our noses for all these other reasons when like really all of us are getting fucked in this alley right here. Let's just team up on that one, solve that one, and then we'll move on to the other things when it makes sense. But instead, like it's constantly keep everybody divided so nobody teams up, and you never get somebody that's actually going to do things to improve the majority of Americans' lives.
I don't know.
It's too rational.
There might be a solution to all this. And it probably lies in titties because everybody likes that. Like I said, there's not a singular person that just does not. You can go to the most hardened Christian elderly lady, and she saw a pair of boobs. She's like,
those are pretty nice.
yeah, very, very supple. Like that's just how it is. Boobs cure everything. But listen, guys, this has been another episode of Mike and Dylan Hate the Podcast. One day we are going to dissuade you from listening to this podcast. We will try our hardest because
today might be that day.
Yeah, today might be that day. But we will see you guys next time, and make sure to check out Two Daddies Judging Baddies on Spotify and wherever you get your podcast needs from. I don't know. It's going to be in the description of whatever the fuck platform you're on.
Thanks for tuning in.
Later. I stole it.